Bill Gates, billionaire philanthropist, has said if I was down to my last dollar, I would spend it on public relations. Public relations is an extremely important tool, but what exactly is it? Public relations, defined by Public Relations Society of America, is a strategic communication process that builds mutually beneficial relationships between organizations and their publics. Now, a public is anyone who ever has or ever will form an opinion about the client. To break it down a bit farther, a client would hire a PR firm to protect, enhance, or build their reputations through the media. This is the field that I hope to have a career in, and after this presentation, I hope that you have a better understanding of what exactly it is. Quite often, a PR specialist can be responsible for writing press releases, speech writing, and networking to gain and maintain business contacts. In this career field, there are certain skills that are strong prerequisites to succeed. Mastering both verbal and written communication is the key to a strong foundation. These skills can also help navigate and choose what communication channels are best to speak to a public most effectively. Pair this foundation with the ability to multitask, a solid level of organization, and a need for planning for creating and executing special events designed for public outreach, and this will yield a strong candidate for a PR specialist. As of October 2015, the average salary for an entry-level public relations specialist was at around $54,000 a year. This, of course, will increase as you are closer to a metropolitan area. This is because metro areas are usually where larger companies make their homes, and these are the companies that usually offer more money because they are typically the ones that need PR the most. To become a PR specialist, a bachelor's degree in this field or one of the communication, business, journalism, or even English areas is heavily encouraged. The job outlook for the public relations field is projected to grow by about 12% by 2022. This is about average for all of the other career fields in the United States at the moment. Once you are in the field, there are 3 crucial parts to your job: protect, build, and enhance. As mentioned prior, protecting, or crisis management, can be a large part of public relations. This aspect was crucial in 1982 when unknown suspects injected cyanide into the Johnson & Johnson product Tylenol. 7 people in Chicago were reported dead after ingesting the product. At the time, Tylenol controlled about 37% of its market, but after the crisis, this was reduced to about 7%. Immediately following the incident, Johnson & Johnson recalled about 31 million bottles. That's equivalent to about $100 million in lost product. They also assumed responsibility and stopped production on the capsules. The company has stated that their responsibilities are to the customer and to the medical professionals using its products, also to their employees and the communities where its people work and live, as well as its stockholders. Because of this, it was a necessity to maintain the safety of their publics to keep the company alive. Making sure that their publics were number one is what kept the company afloat. Public relations specialists are not just hired to protect a brand, but also to build one. Many have heard of the professional baseball player Lou Gehrig, and know that he had suffered from a disease that has since taken his name. Lou Gehrig's disease is also known as ALS. Today, after 75 years since he was diagnosed, not much has changed. This illness still does not have a cure or even a treatment. Not many have heard the name Pete Freight, but he is one of the 30,000 Americans currently affected by this illness. ALS, in a nutshell, robs your body of all physical abilities, but keeps the brain intact. Freight did not want to wallow in his grim diagnosis, but instead made a decision to bring awareness and funding for a disease that was set aside for 75 years. This awareness took the form of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. This challenge was a campaign to raise awareness and took social media platforms by storm. By week 3, the challenge had reached celebrity status, including celebrities as Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake. By week 4, the audience was global, spanning over 150 countries. The challenge called upon people to dump water with ice over your head and to film it within 24 hours of being nominated by another challenger. If you chose not to, you were to donate money to the ALS Association. If you wished to do both, that was also encouraged. The challenge started in July of 2014, and by the year end was expected to have raised $160 million. This was truly a building moment in PR for an illness that had extremely little awareness, especially for the ALS Association, because the prior year, 2013, had only yielded about $3 million in funding and fundraising. And then in about a span of 6 months, the next year, $160 million. And then being on a global stage within weeks. Public relations is not just for bringing new awareness, but also enhancing an already strong image. In 2003, the dish soap giant Dawn was facing troubles. Their competitors' bottles were much larger than Dawn's, and consumers were opting for the larger ones because they thought they were getting a better value. Dawn sought out a mega PR campaign to bring back their customers. Dawn Dishes It Out was the answer to their problems. Dawn Dishes It Out was an event that brought out 1,685 people, and they were served breakfast while being entertained by celebrity guests and DJs. After the breakfast, a wash-a-thon took place. This wash-a-thon used 300 people who were, of course, using Dawn products, who served as washers, dryers, runners, and stackers to prove that Dawn was still the best dish soap and still the best value. After all the dishes were stacked, Evel Knievel then jumped over all 10,000 plates. This event lasted only 1 day, but had 575 news stories written about it, including a piece in the LA Times, a story that also ranks as one of the most popular on Yahoo.com, as well as 10% dollar share increase within a year. This PR event turned a low-interest home product into a major news spectacle. Enhancing a product can be as obvious as the Dawn Dish It Out campaign, or it can appeal emotionally and leave a lasting impression, such as the American Greetings Thank You Mom video that was followed by the hashtag World's Toughest Job. The video shows 24 people in an interview for a job that was advertised as an operations manager position. The job had a very unattractive long list of requirements, long hours, and of constantly being on call, 24/7. The job, at the end of the interviews, is revealed as a job of being a mom. The ad was released around Mother's Day, and within 2 days was at 2.8 million views. It has since had 24.5 million views on YouTube alone. This was a global campaign to thank mothers and their efforts around the globe, and has more than likely reached more people than just a commercial would. Public relations has been a part of history since the 1800s, and is constantly changing and adapting with the public. From going from press releases and news articles and public events, to having to maintain and keep up social media, being able to locate a need for enhancement, protection, or building of a brand or product, or even a person's reputation will always be important. The enhancement of a brand exists to further something that makes every day a better day. The protection of a brand ensures employees do not lose a job, and that the product can continue to make a difference in consumers' lives. The building of a brand, ALS funding, can literally mean life or death for people's futures. Perhaps these reasons are why Bill Gates said he would spend his last amount of money on public relations. Because public relations has the ability to make dreams come true. I hope after this presentation you understand a little bit more about what public relations is and why it is so important. Thank you.